Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. Well, it hasn't been a good weekend, if you will, to have anything to do with retail stores. Just hasn't. We all take going to the store for granted. Oh, crap, honey, I gotta run to the store. We need a gallon of milk. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, be careful. And the be careful comment is usually for the driving part. Make sure there aren't a bunch of idiots on the road. As I tell Mrs. P all the time when she's practicing her driving, I said, first rule of driving, expect everybody else on the road to be an idiot. Plan accordingly. Figure they're going to do something stupid and figure out your escape route first. Nobody really thinks about it too much at the stores. But crime will get rid of our stores faster than anything else. Okay, and I'm going to give you a couple examples here. Some of it you may have heard of. Yesterday, up in Traverse City, Michigan, in Walmart, a homeless guy, before somebody decides to go off on some racist tangent from the videos, it looks like the guy was white, decided to go up and down the aisles, contrary to previous reports that he was at the cashier stand, going up and down the aisles with a pocket knife and stabbed 11 people. When's the last time you went into Walmart or any store, Target, pick one, wherever you shop, and you thought about, what do I do if some crazed whack job comes at me with a knife? Some of us have thought about that ahead of time. It's why we have our little friend in our pocket, or in our purse, or on our hip, or however you carry. Other people, the majority of the country, is oblivious to it and winds up sitting ducks being victims. We heard all the stories about this as it came out last night. The press conference from the sheriff's department, etc., etc. Do you know how the guy was apprehended? It wasn't the police. It was a good guy with a gun who cornered him in the parking lot and got him to drop the gun, and a couple other bystanders got in with the good guy and basically overpowered this and held him until law enforcement arrived. If it wasn't for the good guy with the gun, how many more people would have been injured? Right? Would the bad guy have gotten away? Nobody knew who he was. He's a homeless guy who was running around with a backpack on, that was it, and just decided to attempted murder of 11 people. Could have been more. That's how scary it is that it could happen to anybody. I'd be willing to bet that not one of those 11 victims yesterday thought before they went to Walmart, yeah, honey, I'm going to get a gallon of milk. Okay, be careful. Yeah, just in case some crazed lunatic is coming through the store with a knife, I'm all set. I'm betting there weren't a whole lot of thought processes like that. There should have been. This is the problem we get. We're not safe wherever we go. Some people might want to call it racial or economic or political or whatever. It's a complete lack of decorum, honor, respect for others, okay, in this country. A lot of it, we could say, is because basically God is persona non grata in the country anymore. Again, thank you, Barack Obama. We've taken all the class out of the country. It's totally okay to graduate high school without knowing how to read. No problem. It's totally okay to walk into Walmart in your pajamas. It's totally okay for a 32-year-old healthy guy to park in a handicapped spot. It's somebody else's problem until it becomes your problem. And while everybody thinks this is a big problem in the country, not my problem, not my problem, not my problem, until it does become your problem. Because when we don't get up and make an effort to put an end to this lack of decorum in the country, this is what happens. And eventually, all those times that you've walked away from somebody else being the victim, one of those days you wind up the victim. And then people look around and go, why wasn't anybody around to help? And my question to all those people is, where were you when all those other people needed it? There was one guy with a gun yesterday who probably saved some lives. Of course, that liberal talking point, oh my God, guns are only used to kill people. In this case, the gun was used to save people. But that's the problem we get, is crime is running rampant. This guy would have gotten away. It's not like the cops are there. If you know Walmart's policy, Walmart security cannot go past the balusters outside the front door and walk into the parking lot. They're not allowed. Once this perpetrator, the guy with the knife, walked out into the parking lot, Walmart security washes their hands, says, nothing we can do. We're not allowed to go out and, onto the asphalt there in the parking lot. And so the guy could just walk across the parking lot and get away. On to do it again another day. Crime. It's what's going to destroy us. Then you take a look at what happened up in Milwaukee. Okay. And you're seeing this. I touched on this a little bit the other day about the store in Kansas City. And up in Milwaukee, Kroger's recently announced that they're going to close at least 5 pick and save grocery stores. And these inner city neighborhoods are screaming bloody murder. Where are we supposed to go grocery shopping? Blah, blah, blah. The city is trying to force Kroger to keep the stores open. Listen to that again. The government is trying to force a private company, public company, but company, to keep the stores open. Since when? Governments love to come close businesses. Oh my God, you didn't caulk this window correctly, therefore we're shutting you down. Right? You guys know stories like that. Kroger's shutting these stores down because they're not profitable. Why are they not profitable? I'll give you a guess. It's got 5 letters. CRIME. These 5 stores have been overwhelmed by shoplifting. People go into the store. I want steaks, I want Cokes, I want whatever, and they just walk out the front door. And laws in a lot of places say the store policy for sure, but laws will say that, just let them go. The police will take care of it because they do such a good job of it, right? They're great at processing paperwork, It's the old joke, don't expect police to protect you. If the bad guy breaks into your house, they'll be there in 45 minutes to take the report about your dead body. Okay, you want to not be a dead body, you're on your own. So the government's trying to force Kroger to keep these stores open because too much shoplifting has caused them to not be profitable. But at the same time, these people in the cities, okay, i.e. your progressives, we need a higher minimum wage. Why? You're not spending the money, you're stealing stuff anyway. How do you expect the company to pay you more when they're making less? Oh, that's right. You graduated high school and didn't figure out math either. Okay. We're going to see more and more and more of this. People complain all the time about Walmart closed all the mom and pop shops. And now all the thugs are going to close all the Walmarts and the Krogers and the Piggly Wigglies and the Walgreens, who's another company who's doing the same thing. Okay. These companies have to answer to shareholders. And shareholders go, you're not making money there? We don't need to be there. Pick any business in the world. Oh, the Ford Edsel is not a profitable car? Stop making it. It's a good idea, right? Yugo is not a profitable brand? Out of business we go. Pick anything. I joke all the time. Go look at Kodak, right? Gee, the business isn't that profitable anymore. What happens? Okay. And eventually companies go out of business. It's just the nature of things. But to demand that the grocery stores stay open because, these poor people don't have anywhere to go to buy their groceries. Well, they should have thought about that before they decided to steal them all. Okay? And again, somebody will come up and say this is racial, but this is a mishmash of every race that lives in the areas in Milwaukee. Okay? It doesn't matter. What do you do if somebody's there stealing stuff next to you in the grocery store? Not going to pull a gun on him, of course, but you go get the store manager and go, this guy's shoving stuff in his pockets. We need to stop him before he gets out of the store. Because that's the way you protect what's yours. Your store, your neighbors, whatever. Crime is what's going to take us down. Crime is overwhelming, and somebody will ask me to find the numbers on this, but I'm just going to use common sense. Crime is overwhelmingly perpetuated by those of the liberal persuasion because they're the ones that think the world owes them everything and they don't have to work for anything. Yeah, this is a problem. This has to be solved. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your community. You have to protect your neighbors. Because if you don't do it, who the hell do you think is gonna? Pinball out.